Hello everybody. Hope everyone is having a wonderful weekend. I have just a few things here that I wanted to cover, and I want to thank everybody who has been sending me links to all of this stuff. Very much appreciated. And Larchwood, who is always good about finding these older quotes, this kind of went along with a letter that I had gotten, probably a couple of weeks ago. And I just, for some reason, it's like, didn't want to do a video about it, and it didn't sound too important. So it kind of all ties in together. And I have an article too. And the reason I want to bring this all up is because several years ago, we had done, oh my goodness, several videos about the Kingdom Hall Trust and how this branch of Watchtower, who is its own corporation, its own charity, and I will put the link down below to this UK charity, the Kingdom Hall Trust. We had done a video where they came in and took over a property that had 5 Kingdom Halls and several homes that JWs were living in, including a caretaker, and I believe it was called the Addison property. And the Kingdom Hall Trust just came in and tried to take it all over, and there was a fight with the caretaker because that was his home, but it was on their property, and I mean, it got nasty. It really did. And we've done other videos back in 2018, 2019. They were asking congregations to join the Kingdom Hall Trust. And I'll just try to give you a brief explanation of what this was. Is they would send a letter saying, you're invited to join the Kingdom Hall Trust. And what the congregation had to do is they had to vote on it. And of course, we know most of them are going to vote yes. You're not going to have that many, putting their hand up and saying no. Same way back when we used to go to the Kingdom Hall. So what they would do is they would get the congregation's permission, they're okay to join the Kingdom Hall Trust. Now what they had to do is they had to hand over all assets, money, property, everything over to the Kingdom Hall Trust. And in return, the trustees, the elders who were the trustees, didn't have to pay bills. It was supposed to ease their responsibilities. And so this Kingdom Hall Trust, the Kingdom Hall would put in a, fill out their form to pay, their bills. And so that's what has been going on in the UK. And like I said, we did several videos about this. And we had letters from Watchtower, or excuse me, the Kingdom Hall Trust, to these congregations, inviting them to do this. Now, with that being said, and I had the letters back then. You can see Kingdom Hall Trust at the top. It's not Watchtower, and it's not the governing body or the religious order. It is the Kingdom Hall Trust. And this letter here was dated November 8th, 2019, to selected congregations. And it was regarding proposal to merge the congregation charity into the Kingdom Hall Trust. Now, at that time, many of us it didn't dawn on us the word merge. And we hear this a lot now. Congregations merging, circuits merging. But we never thought of it as a business merger. And that's when I started reading this article, and it's like, oh my goodness, yeah, this is a merger. This is a huge merger, because this is the congregation charities merging into the Kingdom Hall Trust, into a huge charity. Okay? So like I said, this was back in 2019. Now, the recent letter I got, see, Kingdom Hall Trust, May 9th, 2023. To coordinators of the bodies of elders and secretaries, tax concessions. See, they get tax benefits. Dear brothers, we write to inform you of some tax concessions that are available to Congregation Jehovah's Witnesses and how you can take advantage of them. See, that's what Watchtower and all of their little tentacles are all about, is taking advantage of all of these perks, concessions, grants, money. It all boils down to money. And I have a quote that Larchwood found that I'm going to read here in just a minute about their money. Number one, the VAT. I don't remember what it's the acronym for, but we sometimes have to face that in our business. And what it is it's a tax on certain items, property, stuff like that. Okay, VAT on the rental of premises for a meeting, for example, hiring a hall for the memorial. Please state in writing that the room will be used for a non-business charitable purpose, a religious meeting. See, they're trying to get every benefit they can, tax concession they can. If the venue seeks to charge VAT on the rent, direct them to Section 3.5 of VAT Notice 742A, opting to tax land and buildings. The relevant legislation is Paragraph 7 of Schedule 10, VAT Act 1994. Number 2, VAT on the overprinting of invitations, showing local details. If you employ a local printer, VAT should not be charged. It is 0 rated. If the suppliers do not agree, refer them to VAT Notice 701-10, Section 1.2, Item 1. See? They're good about finding all of these concessions, aren't they? Property rates. All kingdom halls as places of worship are exempt from general rates. See, and that's how they get out of paying property taxes. I really wish these governments would tax all churches on their property and assets, all of it. They'd have enough tax money then instead of, taxing the poor people. Number 4, waste collection. The local authorities should collect waste free of charge, as the Kingdom Hall is a place of worship. See, while the rest of us have to pay for our garbage pickup, they get it for free. If your congregation has merged with the Kingdom Hall Trust, then you can quote the Kingdom Hall Trust charity number of 275946 when dealing with suppliers. If not, you can make reference to your existing congregation details. We trust this will be of some help in reducing local operating costs. If you encounter difficulties from suppliers who do not fully understand these provisions, please feel free to contact us. We send our warm Christian love and best wishes. Your brothers, the Kingdom Hall Trust. Yeah. Do you trust the Kingdom Hall Trust? Just saying. Now, and this quote Larchwood found, and my goodness, Larchwood's been posting these all over Twitter. This is from the Revelation book. Remember this one? I am going to go to page 244, and this is talking about Babylon the Great. Paragraph 24. Now this is interesting because it's like, oh my goodness, you want to talk about hypocrites, and they're talking about themselves, especially in light of what I just said about the Kingdom Hall Trust. Babylon the Great, paragraph 24. Babylon the Great is dressed in purple and scarlet, the colors of royalty, and is adorned with gold and precious stone and pearls. How appropriate! Just reflect on all the magnificent buildings, rare statues and paintings, priceless icons, and other religious paraphernalia, as well as astronomical amounts of property and cash that this world's religions have accumulated. Whether at the Vatican, in the TV empire, or evangelism centered in the United States, or in the exotic Watts and temples of the Orient, I'm going to add in Watchtower headquarters and branches, Babylon the Great has amassed and at times lost fabulous wealth. Well, you can include Watchtower in that now. Paragraph 25. Look now at what the harlot has in her hand. John must have gasped at the sight of it. A golden cup full of disgusting things and the unclean things of her fornication. This is the cup containing the wine of the anger of her fornication, with which she has made all the nations drunk. It looks rich on the outside, but its contents are disgusting, unclean. And I thought of their CSA problem when I read that paragraph right there. They're guilty of all of this. Now, in talking about the Kingdom Hall Trust, and think about businesses merging, okay? And this is the article I read that got me to thinking about all of this. This website is called Third Sector, and it appears to cover information and news about charities in the UK. And I'll put the link down below to this. Charity vows to keep expanding after mass merger boosts income from £9.6 million to £222 million. A religious charity has vowed to continue to expand after completing one of the largest ever mass mergers in the UK. And that is what got my attention. One of the largest ever mass mergers in the UK. See, think about it as different businesses. Watchtower, International Bible Students, and then the Kingdom Hall Trust. They're all different corporations and charities. See, one of the largest ever mass mergers in the UK. And they're going to keep expanding. You know why? To build their real estate empire. The Kingdom Hall Trust has grown its assets from £9.6 million to £222 million in 3 years. In just 3 years, look how much it has increased. 9.6 million to 222 million. That is a huge growth. It took over 1,279 Jehovah's Witness congregations. Remember that letter I mentioned from 2019? How they were asking to merge? See, the congregation had to agree to hand over all of their assets. Their congregation, the Kingdom Hall property, cash, you name it. Their accounts. They can't even have a bank account now. It goes to the one fund of the Kingdom Hall Trust, and they pay all the bills. 1,279 congregations in the UK. Back when we were covering that in that letter, we had no idea how many congregations they were going to be taking over. Well, now we have a number. The huge administrative effort has seen the trust become the owner of 726 buildings in England and Wales, according to its latest annual report and accounts. Like I said, I will put the link down below to the UK charity website, to their financial accounts, and you can get these PDFs. Since they are a charity, they are required to file a tax return every year, and so we have these financial documents. And the charity said it would continue to look for opportunities to purchase new Kingdom Halls of Jehovah's Witnesses. They're not purchasing them, they're taking them over by hostile takeover. All they have to do is send a letter to a congregation, and the congregation says, oh yeah, sounds like a great idea. They're not purchasing them. Unless it's like taking money out of one pocket and putting it in your other pocket. We know all these tricks. The trustees' report said the merged trust had made more than 45,000 administrative payments since the process was completed. Meaning that's how many of the congregation's bills they've paid. It said, as this responsibility was formally spread across many individual charities, aka congregations, this is a good measure of how the trust has relieved beneficiaries of administrative processes during the year. See, doesn't that sound like a great idea? Oh yeah. The report said the trust's total expenditure in the year to August 31st, 2022 was £25 million. It added that £4 million was spent on providing places of worship for Jehovah's Witnesses, and £6 million was spent on assisting congregations of Jehovah's Witnesses. Over the financial year, £14 million was donated to the Watchtower Bible Tract Society of Britain. There you go. Taking it from one pocket to another. In the previous year, it gave £21 million. As reported by Third Sector, the mass consolidation of congregations contributed to a record of 1,620 charity mergers between September of 2021 and September 2022, up from 276 in the previous year. Oy vey. Oy vey. But I wish Jehovah's Witnesses could hear about this. And all of these that are in the UK congregations, you know, I know how a Jehovah's Witness thinks, because I used to be one. It doesn't dawn on them that this is a hostile takeover of their property and assets. So Watchtower no longer, if you want to look at it as separate corporations, Watchtower and International Bible Students no longer own these Kingdom Hall. Congregations do not own their Kingdom Hall or the property. The Kingdom Hall Trust does. And you can go to our channel in the little search box. Just click on that and just put in Kingdom Hall Trust, and you will see that we have covered this several times over the past several years, because to us this was just a snare and a racket. It really is. So I am going to put the links down below to all of this, and also someone sent me an article to the Investigate West, and the name of this article is Jehovah's Witnesses Covered Up CSA in Washington State for Decades, Lawsuit Alleges. And this was dated October 2nd, 2022. But we know that there are several lawsuits that are coming in Washington. And Washington State is also trying to pass a bill. I haven't heard if they've passed it yet or not, to do away with the statute of limitations the way it is now. And so this is good news. And like I keep saying, I would love for the United States government just to do all around, do away with the statute of limitations, period, because that would help so many of the survivors to get justice and compensation for the hell they have been put through. And so thank you for watching, and you all have a wonderful weekend. Bye.